up, my people? ¿Qué pasa, mi gente? Welcome, bienvenidos to another episode, otro episodio de Hoy En Día TV. I'm your host and producer, Yessie Rodriguez, bringing onto the stage my amazing co-host. We have Dr. CC, the actionist, and author, entrepreneur Nadine. Yes, Nadine Barton. Hey, lovelies.
Hello there. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Doing well, doing well.
I can't
Okay.
hear again. I'm not sure if y'all can hear me, but I can't hear again.
I can hear you.
You can hear me. I can't hear y'all. I'm gonna log out and log back in. Sorry, audience, but happy Thursday.
It's all good. That's what happens, you know. Every now and then, things like this happen. That's just how it is, right? Then that tells me that we're going to have a really juicy and deep conversation, Nadine. What are your thoughts about that?
Right. Yeah. I've had my share of bad technology with my computer. So we totally get it, we totally understand what's going on.
Absolutely. So, how have you been, my dear? For a whole week since we haven't seen each other. I mean, we've spoken, we've communicated, but I haven't seen you. How are you?
Right. Just been ripping and running. This is busy. As you can see, I'm not on camera today, but I just caught you just in time. I didn't think that I was going to make it today. I was just leaving a set. So I was like, you know what? Let me just log in and show my face, or not literally, but I was able to get on, and grace you guys with my presence.
Well, we appreciate that. Thank you so much. And I'm glad to see that you were able to join us. And I know the audience listeners really appreciate it too. Let's bring on Cece. Hey, Cece, can you hear us?
I can hear you loud and clear now.
Hey, awesome. I was telling Nadine that, we usually, when we have technical issues, that means we're going to have a really deep and juicy conversation. So, hey, that's just the setup for us. So, how are you? How have you been?
Yeah, all is well. Life is good. Outside of these technical difficulties, all is well. Got on our new Hoy En Día merch. Woo-hoo-hoo. Yeah, I see you there in the black.
Yes, Nadine, you are getting yours very soon. So the three of us will be rocking Hoy En Día shirts.
Yeah.
And hey, I'm going to put them up on the website, yessierodriguez.com, very soon. So if you all want to rock some Hoy En Día shirts, pick yours up as soon as I say it's live. So it's coming very, very soon for sure.
Fantastic.
So your week, anything fun, productive? I know between you and Nadine, there's always something fun and productive going on in the world.
For me, nothing too fun this week. Productive for sure. I have my whole board over here in my office, and you guys don't see me with my background on today because we had those technical difficulties. But hey, we still show up. We make it do what it does. But I'm just checking off things in the boxes. I have a mentor, and it's with ACP, which is a program for veterans and things of that nature. And it doesn't matter how old you are. You can be 80 years old, right? With the mentor. As long as you're living, you should always be learning, is my motto. And so I met with him yesterday. He had kind of gave me some things to do. And the thing is like, do I really need a mentor? Maybe not. I don't know. But I just like to have people that I can bounce things off of. And this gentleman, he's like 70. He's 70 plus years old. So I love that, being able to just kind of pull, right, the wisdom out of our elders. And not only that, he's a business owner. And so that's what I've been working with him with, just kind of as entrepreneurship, progressing and stuff, and, going full force in everything that I do. I just kind of wanted to see, pick his brain just for some wisdom. And so we meet, the mentor program is for a year. And so we meet like 1 to 2 times a month. Just to chit chat and make sure that I'm progressing in my goals. And it's really nice just to have that accountability partner. I know I'm the accountability partner for most people in my circle, but now having someone to be the accountability partner for me, I thought it was kind of nice. And so just moving forward, being productive and getting things done.
That is amazing. So you said the program is called ACP and it's for veterans. Am I understanding that correctly?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh, beautiful. And for anyone watching and listening that are considered veterans, how do they go about into enrolling into such program?
Yeah, it's absolutely free. And you just go to acp.org, O-R-G, and you just fill out the little intake form that they have on there. They'll ask you various questions, ask you, what do you need mentorship for, whether it's for business, whether it's for education, whatever it's for, right? They have someone within that field, right, or has that sage wisdom to be able to help advise you and help you move, along the path. And so I'm a veteran. right? Meaning, right, before I recommend somebody to go and do something or be a part of something, I check it out for myself. So literally this right here is me checking it out. So I got to do this for a whole year. So I'm committed, y'all, right here. Inspire for Purpose. We're committed. Okay. So we want to check out vendors before we say, hey, go. And they're so great. And you haven't even, you don't know anything about them. You haven't done anything with them. So I want to do it for myself. With my mentor, I take them through everything, everything, right? Any and everything that I can think of, any hiccups that I might foresee somebody else might, have within the program, all of that stuff. And I got to tell you, I've been very impressed with ACP. They get back to you right away. They work really hard to match you with the mentor. My mentor's name is Al. And at first we didn't get off to a smooth start. It was some bumps in the road because we really didn't connect at first, like just trying to make that first meeting. So after we got that done and over with, because I was going to pull out of the program. I was out because I was like, look, this guy's not calling me back. I've sent messages, emails, texts, and I have gotten nothing. And so the people were like, okay, we're going to try and match you with somebody else. And I was like, yeah, I don't want this guy anymore. And then he called. Then we talked, and then he was wonderful. And so I was like, okay. And so it's been moving smoothly. So the people that's there working behind the scenes to get you connected with the mentor, they are on it. Like I'm telling you, they actually found me a mentor a lot faster than I even thought that they were going to find me somebody. So they have a whole network, a diverse array of people from all different backgrounds, even in different countries, right? It doesn't matter. As long as you got a phone or a computer, you can connect with that person, and it's really good. Yeah, so acp.org. I'm going through it right now currently. I'm within I think this is my 4th month that I've been doing it, and so that I have to do this for a year. So I'll definitely let you know at that 1 year mark, like how it all went. But right now, so far, so good.
That is amazing. Yes, I love that. So tell me about this, because that was going to be actually my follow-up question to you, sis, is the compatibility part, right? Because we don't always get the warm and fuzzies like you admit, and I really appreciate your transparency. Like, you didn't really get the warm and fuzzies in the beginning because there was a disconnect with the phone call, but once you did, you were patiently waiting, right? And you got the phone call, and now everything is like, wow, it's beautiful. So what would you recommend? What would be some words of wisdom or encouragement that you would recommend to those who might find themselves in a similar situation, and also finding that compatibility issue like you had experienced?
Yeah, absolutely. One, don't be so quick to pull the trigger, right? Because I was like, I'm done with this guy. I couldn't get any. I was like, I'm done. Have a little patience. Life happens, right? And when things are really good for you and meant for you, and sometimes when the right person's in your path, the enemy will throw in little speed bumps to kind of, give you those hiccups. Had I just pulled the plug and was like, give me another guy, I might would have got somebody that I really quite didn't like. But I was very forthcoming with my mentor. Be honest. That's a tip. Be honest. Let them know straight out the gate what you're looking for, and let them know your expectations. So I told this gentleman, I was like, this is what I'm looking for, A, B, and C. This is what I want to get out of this. So be clear about what you want to gain from the mentorship. A lot of people, they come in into these mentoring programs and they think that the mentor has all of the answers. They don't. A lot of times they are learning from you as you are learning from them. Okay. They can only give you what they got. But the cool thing about my mentor is that he goes out of his way to find me additional resources. And that's what I love. You got to be able to have a mentor that's going to be willing to put in the work to help you find some of the sources. Now, it's not their responsibility to give you all of the answers about whatever the resource is that they give you. If they give you a link, then it's your responsibility to go and check out that link, right? And be able to discuss it with them and things of that nature. If at any time when you're in a mentorship program and you find like, hey, this is a little sketch, it's really not working out, I'm not getting along with them, you need to make sure that you have that conversation, one, with the mentor as you, the protege. And then if it's just not working out and you guys can't come to terms and you need to find another mentor, don't waste time, right? Because this is your life and it is important, and you are trying to go somewhere and you're trying to move, and you're trying to move with people that have been there and done that, right? And so if you feel this information that you've learned over your tenure and course of, researching and things of that nature, and you find the information that your mentor is giving you is not really quite jiving, right? You need to ask questions about that. Absolutely, 100% ask questions about that. And if they're not giving the right information, then it may be time to look for a new mentor. Time is so precious, and you cannot waste your time on people that really are not trying to help you. Because a lot of people will do these volunteer gigs because they can put things on their resume, just another check in the box, and they're really not there for the people. So you really got to kind of have, you have to have discernment to know who's going to be there in your corner, making sure that you're getting valuable information so that you can move to the next step within your career or your personal life or whatever it is that you're trying to do.
Absolutely. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. And believe it or not, there's a good amount of people that really don't understand the importance or the crucial role into how a mentor plays or can affect you as an individual, right? And so for those who have no clue about, hey, what is a mentor? What are the do's and don'ts? So pretty much a mentor is a influence, a guidance, or an individual that provides you with direction. You would be considered the mentee, and they have more experience, just like CC shared. They have more experience in certain areas, and they help guide you along the way. They provide you the guidance, support, and instruction to someone who may be considered less experienced, often referred to as a mentee. They act as advisors, as coaches, sharing valuable knowledge and expertise to help mentees improve their skills and achieve any personal or professional growth in itself. And so for the do's and don'ts of what would be considered, like similar to what CC shared, was like once that link was shared with her, she quickly did her research, right? That is not the mentor's responsibility to share the link and say, hey, this is what it's all about. It's too much hand holding. You have to take accountability for that as well. And so some of the crucial do's and don'ts of what you should do as a mentor and a mentee is practice clear and open communication. That's a do. So it helps establish a safe space for mentees to share their concerns and aspirations. Definitely set clear expectations and boundaries as a mentor. Some of the don'ts is don't act like you know more than you do. Don't neglect setting ground rules, and don't assume your schedule is more important. That's some of the don'ts. Some of the do's is prioritize their mentee goals, similar to how CC shared that her mentor has been helping her while doing the extra research and prioritizing her goals as well. Anything else that you want to add with regards to that?
I do. One very important thing is time. Time is of the essence. So be on time when you're scheduled for those appointments, right? Don't be late, right? The proteges or mentee, you can use that interchangeably. Their time is just as valuable as the mentor. So if you have a time set up, with your mentor, show up on time, be on time. If your mentor is not showing up on time, have that conversation the first time it occurs. Okay, don't wait till 2 and 3 times and this person is habitually late. Time is important. If people can't show up on time for you, then they're probably not really going to show up for you in other ways. So time is of the essence. Yep, that's it.
Thank you for sharing that. Absolutely. Time is super, super important. I echo your words, because that not only shows respect for you as a person, right? Because they're valuing your time, but they're also valuing their time themselves as well. Because that time is one currency, so to speak, that we don't get back. Right? We don't get that back. Once the time is gone, that's it. We can continue to age and progress forward, but it's not like money. Money comes and goes. Time is one of those, I consider it a currency. It's like, my time is valuable, right? Your time is valuable. So what are we going to do with it? So yes, I love that you shared that. Thank you so, so much.
Yeah, I love it. I wanted to continue to kind of harp on time a little bit, because that really nerve with me there. You're right. Time is a valuable commodity, right? We have stock markets that we invest in. We have these commodities that we buy and sell and trade and all these things. And time is a very valuable commodity. And with that being said, I like what you said, Yessie, about respecting the time. When people show up on time for you, right? It shows how much they respect you. That's how seriously I take it. I'm not sure how you all take it and how the viewers out there take it, but that's how I take it. When people show up on time for you, it shows you how much they value you, right? Things happen, life happens. They give you that courtesy call. That's a respect. I love that, right? So, and I say all this because I had, a thing where I had showed up late. And I was like, I'm coming and this is happening. And life was happening to me, right? And I showed up late and I was like, I'm so sorry. But you know what? The person that I was dealing with, it was an eye opener for me, because this was a fairly new relationship, right, with an associate. And they were like, well, you were 10 minutes late, so I'm going to have to leave, still up, because we had like an hour appointment. So they were like, well, I'm still going to have to leave on time, right? And they were very direct with me. I appreciate that. It rubs you the wrong way because you're like, ooh, like, you know what I'm saying? But they were like, no, they were like, my time is my time. So it's like, this meeting's going to be over at the scheduled time that it's supposed to be over with. So if I didn't cram in that 10 minutes in which I was late, they weren't going to address anything. So I was like, wow. So that, I don't know, it just gave me a wake up call. Because I mean, sometimes you're late, life happens, right? And so you want people to give you some grace. But this lady was like, yeah, you have the grace, but I'm not going to give you any more of my time. I give you 1 hour. So maximize it. So I was like, lesson learned. And so that's going to help me, right? Help all of us, right? In the future grow, because sometimes you meet people like that and you be like, ooh, they're so rude. They're so like different. Like people that just tell you right on their mind. And they don't like, they just tell you what's on their minds. Like they don't, it's just straight, no chaser. And sometimes it hurts your feelings. And I'm trying to mature to where I'm like, I respect that. I'm not going to let it hurt my feelings, because in that moment, that was like iron sharpening iron, so to speak. And it was to bring me up to a level. So that's all I had to say. But I was like, wow, it just kind of, I was like, she's mean. No, but she wasn't. She was just like, this is time.
Yeah.
Nadine, is it? Or is that me?
Yeah, I just muted her. Yeah, it was her.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I absolutely echo your words, and I agree with the importance of time. I mean, I will say this: there is a way to tactfully say that, right? You know how this person's approach was to you to say, "Hey, like my time is my time," but there is a way to kind of soften the communication, and I'm really passionate about having that emotional intelligence, so to speak, about approaching people in a different way and not always assuming, right? Because, like you did say, life happens to people; things happen, you know. um so it's one of those things where it's like, if you want a certain type of respect, then be willing to show others that type of respect too. It's about paying it forward. It's not always about being so rough around the edges, but I do see your point as well. And whoever this person was that you had this interaction with, my only thing with that is just being a little bit more softer with the approach, to understand that life happens, it is what it is, and hey, lesson learned, moving and going forward.
I agree. Emotional intelligence, that was key. I don't think she had any.
It sounds like she didn't. Yeah. Listening to you, I was like, she doesn't have emotional intelligence. And you know, you'll be surprised the amount of people that do not have that.
Yeah.
It's really interesting. I'm gonna have to look up that number to see like the percentages, if there's even any statistics out there with regards to that, which I assume there is. But Nadine, you've been quiet. Any thoughts on any of the discussion points that Cece and I have talked about?
I know it started to rain. I got kicked off and then I logged back. Yeah, like talking about mentorship, which was for us, and especially young sailors coming into the military. And I know how important it is for young sailors to have mentors, especially their first years in the military. So it's very important. So very, very good time as far as getting a mentorship. So she was not on that.
Gotcha. I tried to make out most of what you said, sis. It was coming in and out. So it sounds like you were talking about the importance of having a mentor.
Yes, yes, that's exactly what I said. I said she touched on, she was spot on with that. I said, was talking about, especially in the early years of being in going into the military, and how important it is to have a mentor, especially for the young sailors joining the military, regardless of the branches that you join in, and the importance of having a mentor.
Okay, that's awesome. Yes, that is good. Well, thank you for sharing that feedback for sure. Um,
Yeah, I don't know how bad the background is because it started to rain really bad where I'm at.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, we can hear you now. Before it was just cutting in and out really bad, but it sounds like you're in a good spot now where it's a little bit smoother. But I'm gonna put you on mute for now so I can because we could do hear some background
Oh,
noise.
okay.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, so that's what it is, the emotional intelligence. I didn't really put two and two together. I mean, I know about emotional intelligence. I didn't really put it together, but yeah, so those people that I've met, yeah, they were lacking that. Thank you, Yessie.
Yeah, you're welcome. And you'll be surprised that a lot of people don't know what emotional intelligence is, which is really interesting. And so, for those who do not know what emotional intelligence is, I'm going to tell you in just a moment. Let me look it up here real quick. I'm going to tell you the terminology of what we have here for emotional intelligence, because that is important. for people to have, especially just understanding that we're human, right? Life happens, things happen. It is what it is. And just kind of giving that person grace to be human. So emotional intelligence, also called emotional EQ or emotional quotient, is the ability to recognize, understand, manage, and use emotions effectively in yourself and others. It's a core life skill. So remember, it is a core life skill, or considered a core life skill, that affects how you communicate, make decisions, handle stress, and build relationships. So, five key components to EQ, and those are self awareness. So, one is self awareness, recognizing your own emotions and how they affect your thoughts and your behaviors. Example of this would be noticing you're feeling a little irritated before reacting harshly. So, if you find yourself in that situation, take a deep breath, whew, and then release it. You're right, because it's one of those things where it's like when we act or react out of impulse, things typically don't go well, right? So if you find yourself getting a little irritated or a little stressed, breathe, or if you need to leave the room, go for it. It's a-okay. Whatever it is that you need to do in a positive way to release that negative energy or whatever you're feeling, it's fine. So that's one, self-awareness. Two, self-regulation, managing or redirecting impulsive emotions and behaviors. So an example of this is, like I just mentioned in one, is taking a deep breath instead of yelling when frustrated. So if somebody is getting really loud and irritating with you, don't yell back. Just whew, just kind of absorb it, because you don't want to match that energy, because that negative energy with your negative energy, what is that going to solve? Is that going to solve anything? Probably not. It's going to make it worse. Three, motivation, using emotions to stay focused and driven towards your goals. An example would be pushing through setbacks because you're passionate about your purpose. And similar to what Cece always shares, inspire for purpose. So if those who need help with finding their purpose, definitely reach out to Cece and her business with Inspire for Purpose, and they will help you get that along the way. Also, four, empathy, understanding and sharing the feelings of others. This is where this individual who Cece was dealing with should have really exemplified this. Number four, empathy. An example of noticing when someone is uncomfortable or adjusting to the approach, right? Cece admitted she felt a little bad because she's not used to being late. She was 10 minutes late. It happens, right? Life happens, traffic or what have you. I believe that when you are late for anything, God is protecting you from something. God is always on time protecting you. So regardless if you are 10 minutes late, it's okay. As long as you got there safe and sound and healthy, that is what matters. And five, social skills, building and maintaining healthy relationships through effective communication. An example can be resolving conflict respectfully by talking and inspiring teamwork. Any thoughts about that?
Oh, I love all of that. It was
Yes, absolutely. Because let me tell you. I'm sorry, sis, but somebody dragged me out this week, and I haven't always had emotionally. I haven't always had emotional intelligence. I just have to get that out there. But the old Nadine would have cut that person out. But because I've gotten therapy and because I've grown, and I didn't respond, back to that person, I just had to, like yes, he said, take a deep breath and just don't respond, because people will drag you out and people will drag that old person out of you just so they could get a reaction to, just try to rile you up. But and in the new dating era, people always want to say, oh, I just want a person to have emotional intelligence, when they themselves do not know what emotional intelligence is. Because if you're going to do things and say things to drag somebody out, that means that you yourself is not emotionally intelligent. So that's my thought on that.
Yeah, those key points were awesome. You're right on. You're right on it, sis. Too. Those key points that you read about it, spot on. And I love what you said about, if you are late, everything happens for a reason. And I'm a firm believer of that too, Yessie. If you're running late, I just believe it's just God protecting you for something. You know what I'm saying? It's just the way that life was supposed to happen, right? Because he determines our every step, and so he knew we were going to be late, right? And so people got to extend the grace. And so, like you said, thank God that you made it there safely, right? You know what I'm saying? You conduct your business, you go on your merry little way, and life is still good, right? So it's all good. It's all good. Yes, I love it.
Thank you. I'm so glad. So, and another key element to consider, or several key elements to consider here. So, why is emotional intelligence important? Why does it matter in you and your life? So, it helps not only with your personal growth, similar to what Nadine was sharing. She realized her own personal growth, and it's always an amazing achievement to realize when you have grown in a situation, regardless of what it is, that helps you navigate your emotions, build that confidence, and manage that stress. Because you think about, I don't need this stress in my life. Like that, let me cancel that negativity. You got to pick your battles because not every battle is worth you and your time, your energy, your resources, etc. Just something to think about. Also, relationships. It improves communication, empathy, and trust with others. Workplace success. Leaders with high EQ create more positive, collaborative environments where you would feel the warm and fuzzies when you're coming to work, right? Mental health, reducing anxiety, anger, burnout by promoting self control and understanding that you are the person in control of your emotions and you should not let anything exterior control you, right? So, those are just some food for thoughts for you all to consider there.
I like that
Yeah,
about.
great point.
Yeah, go ahead,
Yeah,
Cecil.
I was just saying great points. That's it.
I like what you said about not allowing anything externally to control you. I hope
Mhm.
people really heard that and really listen to that. I hope it resonates, right? And it relates to the viewers that are out there because there's so many things, out there in our atmosphere, right? In our day-to-day lives that's externally controlling us. It's the external, right, person, right? What they think of you, their thoughts. And then therefore you now internalize that, and you're worried about all of that. It's what they say or what they think. It's external, it's outside of you. So I want to, challenge all of you, right, is to begin to think on the inside, that internal, that intrinsic, right? To see what's pushing you, right? What's helping you thrive, what's helping you move into the next dimension, all right, next level even, right? With those types of things, you got to come to a space and place in life. And I know many people probably wish that they could just be where they want to be, like so far in the future, have that job, have that family, have, all the material things that we have. But I want to challenge you all, right? Is to just take a moment to sit in the moment where you're at right now in the very present, because we need to be present in our present moment and sit quietly in a space and think about, right? What's driving you? Is it you that's driving you? Like you up against yourself? Because I'm up against myself, right? And I'm finding like I'm a beast to be reckoned with. Okay. I'm so good by the glory of God, I'm always trying to be better. I'm always trying to elevate, right? And so it's like I'm racing against myself. I'm challenging myself against myself. And that's enough, y'all. When I begin to, and I have like, compounded other people's thoughts, what they're doing. We all compare. We've all been there, done that. Let's be real. But now I don't do that anymore. It's freeing. And what I found is that the people that I'm comparing myself to, they don't even compare to me. You see what I'm saying? Like you are so much better than you think you are, right? You are so much farther along than you think you are, right? start comparing you with within, because you're going to find out some things about yourself. You're going to find out like, man, I'm really lacking over here in this category. I truly suck. I need to elevate, right? And then you're going to find like, man, I'm killing the game over here. Let's go ahead and elevate even more. And so now that I'm here and I'm dueling it out, I don't know if you all have ever seen that movie Face Off, right? So, you're kind of dueling it out with yourself. Take a moment, look in that mirror, be quiet and just listen and see where you want to go, right? That future self, where you want to be and who you currently are now, and begin to challenge yourself internally, not with all the external factors and people. Forget about it, right? Challenge yourself from within. And you're going to find that you're going to grow so much faster. You're going to find that you are going to find out what those blind spots are that's been holding you back, those stuck points. You're going to find out those things that's been buried deep within that you just didn't want to deal with. All that stuff is going to come to the surface, right? And if you're brave enough, right? If you are brave enough, right? You are then going to be able to see, right, that you can overcome it. You're going to see where your strength comes from, where your help comes from. You're going to see how strong you are, how weak you are, how smart you are, how not smart you are, how wise you are in a situation, how unwise, right? The choices that were made that weren't so great, the ones that were really, you're going to see all of that. And it's in you. Your life is a whole movie, right? And you're the starring actor or actress, right? So go ahead and win that Emmy, okay? Go ahead and win that Globe, okay? Right? So I just want to challenge you all to do that. It's motivating me when you said that. It just triggered something in my mind. It was like a whole, this epiphany moment that I'm having right now. But challenge yourselves, okay, to be better, to do better. But keep your eyes on you. Keep your eyes on God, all right, first and foremost, so that he can show you. So that way you can be better, not only for yourself, but for also the other people that you're going to meet, for your children, for your future spouse, right? For your future in-laws, for future friends, whomever, strangers, whomever, right? Be that wonderful person, right? That you know that you can be, because you can be it. All right. It's just a little encouraging moment, right? We should have like a little encouraging moment, on the show. I love it. I got excited. Sorry, I'm shutting up now.
No, that was amazing. Thank you. Like that just gave me an extra boost of energy I already had. So hey, thank you. I love that. Absolutely. We all need those words of encouragement. And just the fact that you said don't compare yourself to others, just compare yourself to yourself. Like I love that. And I agree with you. You want to be a better version of yourself each and every day that you wake up. Be a better version and then do some self-reflection, right? It's okay. We're not perfect, but self-reflection helps you become a better person. And self-reflection means that you're reflecting on you versus reflecting on somebody else, just like Cece just said. So I love that. Thank you for saying that. And because of that, I'm going to play one of the commercials for Girls with Gigs and Inspired for Purpose. We're doing something different here with the sponsors, so we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
A bold builder of people, purpose, and platforms, Girls with Gigs helps high performers and those desiring to achieve more shift mindsets and activate purpose. Whether it's career or leadership development, personal branding, or knowing your worth. In the job market, transformation has never been closer because this is where purpose meets action and dreams become destiny. Book your free consultation today at www.girlswithgigs.com.
Absolutely. Book your free consultation today and you will get to speak to Dr. Cece, the actionist. So, Dr. Cece, I'm curious to know, a person who signs up, what would be a typical consultation? What are some of the things that you're going to be asking? And you don't have to share everything if you don't want, to splurge or should I say, spoil the surprise. But what would be some of the things that they would have to keep in mind? Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you. I can hear you.
I don't know what
Can you hear me? Now I can't hear you. I did hear your question to begin with. You can hear me. Give me a thumbs up. I can't hear you guys, but I can go ahead and explain.
I can hear you.
Yeah, you can hear me. Okay. I can't hear you all, so I'll probably have to log back off and log back on. But I'm going to go ahead and explain the consultation piece. When you do take, decide to make that step, right? Take that step towards you. What's going to happen within the consultation is you just got to go online to the www.girlswithgigs.com, as you saw there in the commercial. And it's just going to be a little short intake form. And you're just going to fill that out. It's going to come into my inbox. I'm going to say, hey, there's this beautiful person, right? Decided to take that first step. And then I'm going to give you that call. I'm going to send you an email, say, hey, I got your message. And then I'm going to go ahead and give you that phone call. And when you hear my voice on the line, you're going to be like, yay, it's you. And I'm going to be like, yay, it's you. We're going to get excited, right? And then you're going to be telling me, like, whether it's a professional goal or a personal goal, something that you want to achieve, something that you want to attain. You're going to tell me what that is that you want to do. And then I'm going to ask you, okay, what are some things that you have done to begin to achieve that, right? Whether it's getting you clear about your fears so you can get unstuck and begin to move forward, right? We can have some consultations with that because it's really easier than you think. Coaching is different than counseling, right? I'm a coach. I'm not a counselor, right? So I'm not certified in coaching or any of that stuff, but I am a coach. coach, right? A master coach. I said I'm a mindset coach, because the way that I decided to become a mindset coach was because you have to deal with some things in your own mind, right? And then seeing all the other minds that are around you, right? Meaning family, friends, your children, like all that kind of stuff, and seeing how people think. And I've always been super infatuated, right? Or intrigued even with just how the human mind works. So always wanted to know more about that, right? And so just kind of delving into psychology and all those types of things, just studying people watching, right? All of those types of things. And so we're going to kind of get into that, because I'm a true believer that all the answers that you need, they are inside of you. We were made and created, right? From God of the universe, right? He created us with everything that we could possibly need. We have all the answers in this good old book called the Bible. Yes, I am a Christian. When you get onto my site and you say, hey, I want to talk about any of that Jesus stuff, we don't have to talk about the Jesus stuff. We don't have to call on the name of Jesus. I will simply listen to you. But you need to know that I'm coming from a place, right? A spirituality where I talk to the Father and the Father talks to me, right? All truth comes from him, and I'm going to share that truth and discernment with you, right? And so you're going to be like wowed by it. And it's really not me, y'all. It really ain't your girl, okay? It's God himself, right? That gives that divine insight to be able to help you move farther, because he loves you so much. He wants you to move to the next step. So then after we talk about that for a little bit, we're going to develop a game plan. And what's going to happen most, this is where people kind of fall off the wagon, is because you don't have the accountability piece. You don't have someone there following up with you. Some people literally need you to hold their hand. Remember that song, Hold My Hand? That song, okay, I ain't gonna sing, I ain't gonna hurt your ears, okay? But you gotta hold that person's hand, okay, just like that, right? You gotta hold their hand and you gotta walk them through. Some people are gonna desire and need, a little bit more encouragement than others. And some people are gonna say, hey, just tell me what to do. I'm gonna make it happen. Check in with me at these times, and then we're gonna see where I'm moving within these milestones, all right? And we're gonna move forward. Every single person is different, but the thing that you have to remember, the thing that you must know above all in all of these sessions, right, is that I'm rooting for you. And because you decided to take that step, I know that you are rooting for you, right? And so we're going to walk this thing out together, step by step, day by day, in every single way. Once a person can truly get clear up here, because this is where the battlefield is. These are where the thoughts come in, those self-debilitating thoughts, those thoughts of hopelessness, those thoughts of helplessness, your mind is just going. You try to go to sleep, your mind is just going. I'm talking to somebody out there today, because I've been where you're at, right? Where some of you may even be going, right? And it just won't turn off, right? The noise will not stop, and you're just going and going and going and going. A lot of you, great ideas, right? All of these things. And sometimes you'll write it down, but the problem therein lies is because you do not execute it, right? So what's the purpose of having a good idea and you don't execute it? It's just there on paper. You don't want to be that person where you die and you're in that graveyard, and all of those great inventions, all of those great ideas, all of the ways in which you could have made the world better, you know what I'm saying? It's there in the grave with you. So we want to pull that out of you. That's what we do at Inspire for Purpose. That's what we do at Girls with Gigs. We pull that out of you, so that way you can truly see it, because it's been there all along, right? And so then after we do all of that, right, I call it my kumbaya moment, right? I don't really, but that's what it is, okay? I use the ACE method, right? And so as we go through that, then you're going to begin to kind of see like, all right, I can do this. It's just like a mother kind of rearing up that child, teaching that child who and how they should be, because they see who they are. So this is a discovery session, right, to show you who you are on the inside, who you truly are, not who people say that you are. They say, oh yeah, you're smart. You may be smart, but you're more than that. Oh, you're kind. You may be kind, but you're more than that. So we are going to discover what the more is. And I promise you, the answer is already there within, by someone like myself asking you questions, right? Kind of like the why. Think of a little kid, but why? But why? But why? It drives you nuts, right? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask you the why. It's not going to drive you nuts, but it's going to get you down to that root cause analysis, right? That RCA, to let us know why you behave in the way that you behave. This is why you do what you do. This is why you think the way that you think. And you're going to be like, wow. And it's going to be freeing. And it's just going to be like these weights are just falling off. And you're going to be able to just fly. You're going to be able to fly, y'all. We need these types of things in our lives. And I know too, like for, minority communities, African American, Hispanic, even Asian, right? With coaching and things of this nature, even counseling, right? It's like shunned in our culture. Like you don't talk about these things. You don't need this kind of help. This is you helping you. This is you being brave. This is you saying enough is enough. I'm going to get up and I'm going to do something about it, right? And it's not very, very costly, okay? Because look, I know we all out here trying to make it in this recession. They're trying to tell us that there's no recession, but y'all, look, when I go to the grocery market and I get one bag of groceries, it's $150. Okay, that's a recession, all right? I'm just saying, let them call it what they want, but I'm just saying. But no, we're going to get you clear about your fear so you can begin to move forward and get unstuck. It's time, y'all. Time is of the essence, and time is rolling. And you're 1 year older, following year, you're another year older. Following year, you're another year older. When will it be? When will you make that change? Will you take that chance to make it happen? Now, Yessie, I can't hear you all right now, but I'm going to log off. I just want to kind of give you that. And I'm going to log back on, and then hopefully you guys can hear me again, okay? Maybe we'll do a commercial break.
Wow, yes. So for those who want to find their purpose, go to inspireforpurpose.com, reach out to Dr. Cece, the actionist. She will help you get it right. I mean, hey, we all need help in life, right? So if you're feeling a little lost,
Yes,
go for it, right?
absolutely. Yeah, because remember, she inspired my purpose. You remember she pushed me to write when I was going through my traumatic experience, and now I'm a 9 times author.
That is beautiful. See? So look at that. That you're hearing it from a straight facts individual who keeps it 100. Nadine, you did 100. You sugarcoat. So she's
I
telling
don't
you.
I don't sugarcoat anything. I keep it a buck.
I love that. And that's why we're here at Hoy En Día. We keep it 100 with you. Some people may like it, some people don't. I mean, hey, we're just trying to be as transparent as possible because we don't like to sugarcoat and hide, and we ain't got time for the shenanigans. It's about we keep it honest, we keep it transparent. We're adults, we can handle it, right? We got to put our big kid pants on. There's no more little kid pants and big kid pants. And hey, transparency is key here.
And yes, she used to be so modest. No, Nadine, no, you did the work. No, no, no. If it wasn't for you, no, you pushed me. You helped me do the work. No, it was you.
Oh, that's beautiful. I love that. You two have a beautiful relationship, and I love your friendship, your sisterhood. It's beautiful, and I always thank God each and every day that God brought me two amazing, strong women to my life and to help me with Oyandia because hey, I can't do this for myself, right? With each and every one of our words, our thoughts, what we bring to the table, our personalities. Hey, this is what Oyandia is. Bilingual lifestyle show. Hablamos español. We speak English. We do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. We have Caribbean swag. We have a little bit of everything here. That's what all media is to motivate, inspire, enlighten, educate, and entertain the viewers and listeners with each and every episode. Yes, I'm loving it. I'm getting the warm and fuzzies. And with that, Nadine, we're going to go to your commercial about Nadine's travel service because some people need to catch a break a little bit, right? They need to catch a
Yeah.
break. What Nadine's travel service can do for you.
Dream, explore, discover with Nadine's Travel Oasis. Your next adventure is just a booking away. From breathtaking beaches to vibrant cityscapes, we handle the details so you can make the memories. Luxury, leisure, or last-minute getaways, we've got you covered. Book today and let Nadine's Travel Oasis take you places.
All right, Nadine's Travel Oasis. Hey, it's getting cold, and I know a lot of people, especially depending on where you live, you want to go into the warm and fuzzy areas. So, Nadine, what happens when somebody comes to you to help to seek your assistance with travel service? Walk us through a day in the life of how that would look for a person. Let's say I'm looking for a travel service, and I book you. How does that look? What is my experience going to be like?
Well, yes, definitely. So, if they come to me, they'll definitely tell me their destination, where they're going, how many people they're traveling with. And I always, encourage people, especially if they're going out the country, to ensure. And I could guarantee, I will definitely tell you because like you said earlier, Nadine does not sugarcoat anything. I will guarantee that I will tell you. Even though with the travel service, we have disclaimers and paperwork that you sign that if you decline the travel insurance you have to sign off. But I will say I preferably will not want to book someone if they're going overseas and they do not take the travel insurance because I see so many different horror stories and experience horror stories with different clients who come to me and say, oh my God, this could have happened to me if I didn't take the travel insurance. Perfect example. I had a client that went to the Bahamas from California, and they had a delay in their trip, right? So with the delay, when they got to the Bahamas, they canceled their hotel. And if they didn't have the travel insurance, they would have come out the pocket to rebook their trip if they didn't have the insurance to cover up and book their trip without coming out the pocket. So I always encourage people, hey, make sure that you take that travel insurance because it will save you a lot of money. So yeah, so basically, you get the information, how many people traveling, where they're going, if it's a group trip. And when it comes to dealing with the group trip, I rather speak to one person because, with group trips, so many people have different opinions. So get one person, the point of contact, talk to one person, and get the trip going.
Right, right, absolutely. What about the recent TSA being affected by government shutdown? What would you recommend to those individuals who are looking to travel, but because of the whole government shutdown, the effects that it has on the TSA, which is Transportation Security Administration?
Well, we always go to the website, and we also make sure that we check all the travel the different countries to make sure that we're up to date with those countries to make sure that there are no restrictions, because we definitely don't want to book any people going anywhere to different countries if there are restrictions, because we want to make sure that everybody's covered.
Gotcha. Yeah, absolutely. We appreciate that. And for those who are curious, TSA is actually being impacted by the government shutdown through, though not in a way that stops all operations. However, TSA is considered essential, right? We travel, and people travel different places, like Nadine was saying. People travel a lot overseas, so they are considered essential employees or essential staff that are needed. They are, because they're working without a paycheck, some may call in sick or not even show up, which is the unfortunate down part, especially if the shutdown drags on. That does reduce staffing, which is the unfortunate part. Now, I feel some type of way about that, right? Because it's one of those things where I get it, you're not getting paid, but I also believe in always putting your best foot forward and showing that even if it's about the pay, like, you're representing yourself, right? You're not getting paid. And I get it, it might be tough for you, but still show up and show your best representative, because you never know who's looking. This can help you for a promotion. You're that individual who's working in TSA, who's showing up, helping other people, not getting paid. And guess what? That's going to make you a superstar because everybody else is calling out sick. I mean, what? Any thoughts? Am I alone on this, or what are your thoughts about that?
No, I'm right with you. I've been hearing people say that money is the best incentive. That's what they're saying. Like, we don't need to give these people incentives. Money, your paycheck is your incentive. And I'm like, some of these paychecks, I'm like, you know what? It's no incentive, right? But no, you're right. This is an opportunity for you to shine. You got to see the positive in everything, because sometimes this is a setup from the Most High Himself. Just like you said, Yessie, when you're showing up because you're not getting paid, but you're still showing up to help those travelers and so on and so forth. So, the plan of the day can be carried out, right, throughout how it needs to be. People are looking, and those, higher ups, hopefully they're saying, okay, yeah, Joe showed up today. I know he's not getting paid, but he came in, he put in the full 8, 10, 12-hour day, and he did an amazing job, and he did it with a smile on his face. You know what? We need to consider this person for management. Let somebody go pull me Joe's personnel file, okay? And they're looking at that. So you can be setting yourself up for that promotion. Does it suck that you're not getting paid? 100%, absolutely. But if you don't, because you're not going to get a job like tomorrow. Well, some of you may, I don't know, but you got to put a whole application, resume, everything. You see what I'm saying? So show up to work. You see what I'm saying? Do your job. Hopefully they're going to back pay you. That would be my hope, because you do need to get paid for that time, because you did give time. But sometimes, right, the best payment is putting the best foot forward so that it can set you up in the future for a bigger, better, brighter career. Like you said, getting that promotion. And maybe that's the one thing that you've been actually trying to attain within the company. So this may be the opportunity to help you to be able to attain that. I do hope that this government gets together. It saddens my heart that we got a bunch of grown folk, or so-called grown folk, up in White House, Congress, and they can't come to a meeting of the minds, because it's not affecting their pocketbooks. They're getting paid, right? but it's the American people. We're the ones that's being affected. You know, enough is enough already. If you can't manage, right, what you got, if you cannot come to an agreement that won't affect the American people that have voted you into office, then maybe you shouldn't be in office. You see what I'm saying? These are grown-ups. Y'all get it together, America. Get it together, Congress, okay? Let's get it together and let's get people back to work. Let's get people paid. And I pray to God that these people do have back pay because they have mouths to feed. This is very stressful for families. And when you haven't been without or done without, you don't know what that experience is like. So people are out there, they're depending on their paychecks. Most Americans live paycheck to paycheck, which is very, very sad because that should not be for Americans. That should not be for anyone. So we know that there's a management of money, going on. Right? There's some budgeting that needs to some basic education that needs to take place. And that's why this information needs to be pushed in schools. So children know how to save early, so they know how to manage their money and things of that nature. But yeah, you're right. For Joe, right, personnel record, Joe might get that raise, okay?
Right. Yep. I love that. I love that. Before I say my spiel, Nadine, did you have anything you want to add? Because I have some information with regards to that.
Oh, no, I do not.
Okay, so for those that are thinking, so two parts here with regards to the TSA. Thank you for sharing that. I agree with you. Not only does it set you up for future management and promotion, like you and I were saying, Cece, but also for employee evaluations each year. An individual gets evaluated, and this can give you that rock star bonus check or whatever it is, however incentive payments come through. But something else to think about too, not only for promotions, but from an incentive standpoint and making you look good on that black and white paper, because that's what matters too. Now, what travelers might see is longer security lines or even delays, which means that before the rule of thumb is getting to the airport 2 hours early, you might have to get there at least 3 or 4 hours early. I know it's a pain, but because of the whole situation we're dealing with, it's better to be safe than sorry, right? In severe cases, some checkpoints or lanes might be temporarily closed if staffing is too low. Also, your flight isn't automatically canceled, but you might experience some delays. So just be mindful that could happen where there's delays or even cancellation, which I pray that it doesn't, but I've heard horror stories where people have been canceled. And that's unfortunate. So just some food for thought to keep in mind, especially if you're getting ready to travel very, very soon. Also, Cece brought up a good point about these individuals being in office. And I always harp on this, and I'm going to continue to harp on this. Midterm elections and voting. I say this pretty much often, not all the time, but often, about the importance. So when is the next preliminary voting for Congress and the House of Representatives? 2026. Tuesday, November 3rd, is the 2026 U.S. House of Representatives general election. Also, for the primaries that determine the party nominees will generally be held earlier in 2026. So, for example, in D.C., primary for the House is scheduled for June 16th of 2026. Also, how does the voting process work? So 2 parts of Congress. For those who don't know, Congress has 2 chambers, House of Representatives, aka the Whores, HOR. I call them the Whores, HOR. All 435 seats are up for election every 2 years. Senate office, 100 seats total. About 1/3 of them are up for election every 2 years. Each senator serves a 6-year term. So when you hear congressional elections, it means elections for the House, the Senate, or both, depending on who is up for the re-election year, are taking place. So what happens at that point? The election stages. So a primary election, also known as the preliminary election, held several months before the general election, usually takes place between March and June. Each political party, whether it be Democratic, Republican, etc., holds a primary to decide who will represent them in the general election. Voters usually pick one candidate from their preferred party list. Voters, this is where your voices can be heard. Okay, so keep that in mind that your voice does matter. The winner of each party primary becomes that party's official nominee for the general election. In some states, you must be registered with a party to vote in its primary, or known as closed primary. while other states allow any registered voter to participate, considered open primary. Also, general election held the first Tuesday after the first Monday in November, or even numbered years. So in this case, again, next one is November 3rd of 2026 next year. All nominees from different parties plus independents compete against each other. The candidate with the most votes wins and takes office in January of 2027. How voting works step by step. So first, make sure you are registered to vote. You must be registered in your state before the deadline, which varies by state. So if you don't know, definitely I encourage you go on Google, on wherever it is, to research this. This is very important. Register to vote. You can register online if you're not registered to vote, by mail or at your local election office. 2, learn about the candidates and issues. Before voting, do your research. Research your state's sample ballot and the candidates for the House and the Senate. Vote is stage 3. So in this case, you can vote in person on election day, early in person if your state offers that opportunity, or even by mail or what's called absentee voting, or ballot must request it before the deadline. So for those who want to do mail or absentee, you must request it before the deadline. Also, number 4, votes are counted and certified. So what happens after you vote is local election offices count and verify the votes. Then the results are certified at the state level. And then 5, depending on the winner, that winner does take the office. Members of Congress elected in November are sworn in early January of the following year. I've said a mouthful, ladies. Anything else y'all want to share with regards to this? Because I've said a lot here. Oh, looks like I'm by myself here. I'm not sure what happened. But yes, so voting is definitely important, definitely key with regards to all of this. Hi.
I'm back, cut out again, but yeah, I got most of that.
Oh, it's okay. I was just talking about the importance of voting, and I was just walking through the process for those who don't know about the voting and how it all works. And I just wanted to, I actually just finished and wanted to ask and see if you all have any thoughts with regards to that. It looks like we also lost Nadine throughout the process as well.
Yeah. No, yeah, it was very thorough in the process that you gave. And I'm so glad that you do harp on it, Yessie, because a lot of people don't even know this information. Right. And it's those midterm elections, really, guys, is where it's really making big change. Right. You got to go to the town hall meetings. Right. Every city has a city hall. OK, so go to your city hall meetings. It's public. It's free. You can go in. You can sit. Your voices can be heard. If things are going on in your school, this is where you need to be speaking out at these town hall meetings. Right. Go there. They want to hear from you, the people. And most of the time, not a lot of people show up, or the same people show up, right? So you need to go out, you need to make your voice heard, right? If you show up in droves when you're trying to get things changed, you can even present petitions and things of that nature at these meetings, okay? If you're trying to get some change and things to happen, you can have the floor to speak, just like with the schools, like, you know, they have the school meetings and stuff like that, open to the public, where the board, they meet and things. That learn how this stuff functions. That way you won't be afraid of it. So that way you can go out, you can make an educated decision. You will know when you see all those signs out, you know, in the public, in the grassy areas, you know, you got to vote for so-and-so, you know, vote for this person, that person. Who are these people? Where do I go to find that information, right? You can find these people online, okay? They have to register. They have to get on a ballot, right? They have to do things in the interim to even be able to begin to even run, you know, for these different offices and positions and things like that in your community. So know how it works, get involved, go out there and make your vote count. I know a lot of people say, oh, voting doesn't matter. It's going to be how it's going to be, you know, and all that kind of stuff. And if you believe that, I can't change your beliefs. But what I know is that you can vote good people into office and vote bad people in office. Sometimes you vote people into office who you think are good, and they're really not good, right? So they'll flip the script on you. You know what I'm saying? But at least arm yourself with the information. Just don't go into a ballot, you know, blindly, and just start checking names and whatnot, because you're setting yourself up for failure when you do that. So yeah, thanks for being so thorough and going through all of that to make sure that the audience is informed. So you're on this station, you're listening to it on all the various mechanisms, right? Make sure you share with others. You can share these messages with other people. You can share it from Facebook or from any of the other podcasts where you may get your daily podcast. Share it with people so they can know.
Absolutely. I love that. Thank you for saying that. And, it's interesting. I harp on it because, one, I'm passionate about it. I'm going to be honest with you, Cece. When I was younger, I was one of those. I'm like, oh, my voting doesn't matter. But as I grew older and gave it a chance and did my research, that's one thing. Do your research. I began to get educated in the process of how the whole judicial branch and all just the different branches between Congress and House of Representatives, presidential, et cetera, all work together. And I come to realize that the president doesn't always have all of the decisions. That's not the final outcome. And a lot of people today that are older still have that notion in their mindset that the president is a bad president because they have all, they can. No, that's false. That's a false narrative. The president does not make all the decisions. It's also a representation of the House of Representatives, the Congress, and the president combined. And that's why it is important for people to go out and vote for these individuals who are going to represent you and your state, right? And so with that in mind, with regards to just everything that we've experienced with the whole shutdown, there's just some things that I want to share with you with regards to that. So, does the president make all the decisions? The short answer is no. The president does not make all of the decisions. Whether it be our current president today or in the future, whoever that president is, they do not make all of the decisions. And that's something I want you all to keep in mind. In the United States, power is divided amongst three separate branches, just like we just talked about, so that no one or no person or group can control everything. Hence the reason why we're dealing with the government shutdown. This system is called the checks and balances system in the US. So how does this work? That's the question. How does this all checks and balances system work? Three branches of government. Executive branch, which is the president, headed by the president and the vice president. Their main job is to enforce and carry out laws passed by Congress. Keep that in mind. Enforce and carry out laws that are passed by Congress. Includes federal agencies like the FBI, Department of Defense, Department of Education, etc. The president can sign bills into law or even veto, which means reject them. Also, the president can issue executive orders or temporary rules or even directives, serve as a commander-in-chief of a military if needed, represents the U.S. in foreign relations, treaties, meetings with other leaders, appoint cabinet members and Supreme Court justices with Senate approval. But the key here, the president cannot make laws. The president cannot declare war or spend money without approval from Congress. Hence the reason why it is important for you all to understand who you're voting into the House of Representatives and the Senate office. Okay. So keeping that in mind, let's move over to the legislative branch, which is the Congress, made up of the House of Representatives and the Senate. Their main job is to make the laws. They make the laws, control the budget, and check the president's power. Congress can pass or reject laws proposed by the president, approve or deny presidential appointments, such as like judges or cabinet members. They can declare war and control federal spending, override a presidential veto with 2/3 vote, and impeach and remove a president who abuses their power. C, judicial branch, which is the courts, headed by the U.S. Supreme Court. Their main job is to interpret laws and make sure that they follow the Constitution. The courts can strike down any law or executive order that violates the Constitution, which is also called or known as the judicial review, and protect individual rights and freedoms guaranteed by the Constitution. So some examples of this that you may see, let's say the president wants to build a new national program, for example. One, the Congress must approve the funding and pass a law, right? That's where the Congress plays into that. Two, if someone believes a program violates the Constitution, the courts can review it. And 3, if Congress disagrees with the president's decision altogether, they can override or even block it. So this shows you how important the people that you all are voting into the House of Representatives as well as the Senate office, how key and how important they are. I've said a mouthful, CC, so what are your thoughts with regards to that?
Once again, very thorough, very, very thorough. And I love it. And I love that people are being educated. I love that people are learning. It's not rocket science. That language was very clear, very easy to understand, right? You don't have to get into the weeds and potatoes. If you get the basic of what each of these branches of our government do, you'll know how to, maneuver and those types of things. So very, very good. So now the people, they know, right? The president does not have all the power, and the checks and the balances, every system, every organization, every institution should have a checks and balance, right? Have a checks and balance, because you don't want one person having all the power, right? That's not a democracy. We live in a democracy, okay? So we got to make sure that one person doesn't have all the power, because that's bad for everybody. So we got to spread it around a little bit. We got to have equality in this thing. And that's what we're built on. That's what we're supposed to be acting out in our day-to-day American way. We are a great country. We are a young country. Our country is very young compared to some of these other countries, right? And this is one of the greatest places, I believe, to live on the face of the planet. I've been all around the world. You all know that I served in the United States military, and I've traveled the world to be on various continents, right, all over the globe. And there's beautiful places out there, right? I know other people that may live in these other places, right? They may think that their country is the best, but I'm born and bred right here in the US of A. It's a great country. Do we have our ups and downs? We do. Right now, my heart bleeds, because we say that we're a country of united. We are united, but we have so much division. And I hope whomever's listening out there, let President Trump hear this, okay? President Trump, doing a good job, pat you on the back. There's some things that you can do better. We can say that about all of our presidents. But here's the thing. As the American people, I know that we have freedom of speech, but we really don't. And here's the thing. It's a common courtesy and a thing of respect. In the military, right, we never speak bad about our commander-in-chief. The President of the United States is our commander-in-chief. And I believe that as a courtesy and as a respect for any sitting, U.S. president, right? For any sitting U.S. president, we should have respect. We shouldn't be saying all this flippant, crazy stuff, even though President Trump does, even though President Obama has, even though President Biden. We can go Bush. Everybody, right, have not had, these not so good moments, right? They're humans at the end of the day, and we have to extend grace. I believe that we should not be quick to speak out in public by putting down our national figures. There should be a level of respect from the American people across the board, to have respect just for another human, right? Take all the titles away. Take all the titles away, y'all. Just take them all away. Show the same respect, the same decorum, how your mother and your father raised you. Now, some of us got good moms, some of us don't. Some of us got good dads, some of us don't. But hopefully somewhere down the line, you learned about having some good manners. Exercise good manners in public and in private, right? I don't want to put my mouth on another person. I don't know all the things, all the stressors that our presidents were under. There's so many conversations that the public's not privy to. There's so many things that happen behind closed doors that we're not privy to. For the first time in history that I know since I've been living, President Trump is the first president. I mean, he's a little unhinged sometimes, but he's literally kind of pulled back the curtain a little bit to give the American people an insider peek as to how things are going down. He goes, no, I want the people to see. For that, I say thank you, right? But then sometimes, some conversations, the American people don't need to be privy to. You see what I'm saying? It's all about the balance, the checks and the balance. And so extend grace to our presidents, extend grace to our congressmen, extend grace to our senators. But at the same time, we have to hold people accountable. And if they're not doing what they say they were going to do, then we as a people, because the people are the ones that carry the power. It's more of us than it is of them. You see what I'm saying? And so we have to do what we're supposed to do on any given day. On any given day, right? Is the one to treat people with respect, to love people, above all things, okay? To treat people with kindness. We tell children this all the time. Be kind, be nice, say I'm sorry. But as adults, we don't do these types of things. And so I just want to challenge us, the American people, y'all. We have got to unite because we are so divided as a country, and it hurts. It hurts. I'm so sick and tired of race being played as a factor. I'm sick of it. I'm so sick of gender being played as a factor. I'm sick of it. I'm so sick of all of these the American people. We are sick of it. Stop it already. Stop fighting. Come together as a people, as decent people, looking out for their citizens. Do what's right. Do what's good. Right? And help the American people. Let's get to being back united again, because the word of God is true, right? I'm paraphrasing, but hey, a house divided will fall. We got to have a firm foundation. And if we got people over here and people over here and we're at it, we're already at each other's throats. The enemy's looking. He's looking to come in to kill, steal, and destroy. Is he not? That's what the word of God says. So they're looking at us, y'all. So let's open up our eyes. Okay, let's really get woke up in here. Okay, let's really open up our eyes and see, right, what's going on. And let's come together as people, human beings, creators of the Most High. And let's put our heads together. We are smarter than this. We're all better than this. Okay? I was mama there in that moment, all right? We got to do better.
You said you always say some beautiful words. I love your words of encouragement because it's true. I echo your words. We have to do better as people, but as a nation overall, and understanding that, again, like I harped on earlier, for whatever reason, a good amount of people that I personally encounter have this notion that the president has all the control, and that's not true. And I just shared the reasons that is not true. And I really hope and pray that people really resonate with this and they absorb it, and that they understand that how powerful their vote is for the Senate, for the House of Representatives, because together we can make that change, right? We're complaining. Too many people are complaining. Oh, I don't like this. I don't like that. Da, 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 da. Okay, then what are you going to do to change it? The first step that you can do is vote. Vote next year in 2026. Yeah, I get it. It's a whole year away. But guess what? Prepare yourself. Do that research. And like Cece said, come together as a nation. We got to do better as people. We do. We're human. When you cut yourself and I cut myself, I bleed red. I'm sure you bleed red. If you bleed a different color, then you might be from outer space. And I would love to have you on the show if that's the case, because I want to hear more about you and your culture in outer space. But nevertheless, if you cut yourself and you bleed red, that means you are human. When you use the bathroom, you take a piss and a poop, just like we always do, right? And again, if you do something different, then come on the show, because I would love to learn more about your species and who you are. And I know I'm being funny right now, but I'm being funny, but I'm being true though, for real, because I do understand that we're not the only beings in the world. Some people don't believe in that, but I believe in that. We have too many planets out here, too many galaxies, too many of this and that, to think that we're the only species that exists. I mean, come on now. Just food for thought there. That's for a different show and a different topic. But yes, going back to what Cece was saying, we have to do better as a nation, as a people, come together, regardless of race, regardless of color. At the end of the day, we all bleed red, we all poop, we all piss, we all want that love. We want to be loved and we want to be cared for. So, we had a deep show today. We talked about many different topics, and yeah.
Yeah, well said. Well said. Well said. Well said. Just we're one people, y'all. Just one people. I know we're all tired of it, y'all. We're tired. We the people are tired. We're tired of just pitting us against each other. We're just tired. Me and my family, we choose not to do that. I mean, I know we see color, you can't not see it, but I choose how I treat my fellow brother, my fellow sister. Right? I adhere to the 10 commandments. I love God first. I love my fellow man. You know what I'm saying? I love him as I love myself. I love myself. I want to treat them good. I want to treat them well. I want to be there for them when they're down. I want to pick them up. I want to be that strength. I want to be that joy in their day. I want it for strangers, right? We are a people. We are one, created and designed and made with a purpose and a plan and a call on our lives. And we have to be able to execute that. We have to be able to walk in love and check yourself when you're not walking in love. Get to the root cause. What's happening? Are you angry? Are you hurt? Because normally that's what it is. It's hurt. And that hurt is manifesting as anger. It's manifesting as so many things, right? So check yourself before you wreck yourself, right? And you said something earlier, yes, you kind of rewinding back. You said about reflection. Reflect on yourself. So, and I wanted to kind of put something more out, and it came to me just in the moment, like, do the self-reflection. So therefore you're not projecting on other people, right? You're not projecting your crap on other people. If you're doing the proper self-reflecting, if you are going to project, hopefully it's going to be you're projecting that positivity. You're projecting that love. You're projecting that understanding. So reflect before you project. All right. Food for thought.
I love that. Reflect before you project. Yes, yes, yes. True, true, true. I love that. Now we're going to head over to our last minute words before we reach out to the sponsors. So, Cece, any last minute words that you want to share with the audience? How people can find you, follow you, etc.
Yeah, just like we just said, reflect before you project. I like that, and then check me out on www.girlswithgigs.com. I am C. Andrew, the actress. We put it into action to make it happen, getting you clear about your fears so that you can get unstuck and move forward, right? So check us out there. You can also check out my page, Inspire for Purpose. I do need to update the page, y'all. Let me just tell you, I need to update the page, but you can still go on there and get information on www.inspireforpurpose.com. It'll be there for you. And as always, I like to say, I'm holding my phone today, but love and light and inspire for purpose.
Yes, thank you so much. And before I say my final words and last minute words, I'm going to pivot over to our sponsor. So don't go anywhere. We will be right back with the rest of our sponsors.
Sponsored by Collective Wear, available at www.yessierodriguez.com/shop and myrod-enterprise.com/shop.
From the moment that I put this Cab Zenza on my skin, it feels most amazing. As you can see, it has your skin glistening, it's moisturizing, and it's very, 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 very yummy. You too should get Cab Zenza.
Luxurious body butters.
Sponsored by Divine Beauty and Accessories. Watch Hoy En Día TV, Thursdays, 7:30 p.m. Are you ready to slay the scene and the runway? Calling all aspiring actors and models, this is your moment to shine. Join our powerhouse acting and modeling beginners workshop and unlock the confidence, skills, and presence you need to dominate the stage, runway, and the camera. Learn from industry pros, hands-on modeling and acting experience. Build your portfolio of craft, perfect for beginners. Registration is now open. Sign up at yessierodriguez.com/powerhouse-workshop. We look forward to seeing you there.
All right, and for those who want to be a guest on Hoy En Día TV, there is an email scrolling at the bottom of your page view or your window view, hoyendiatv@gmail.com. And also for sponsors, we welcome you all as sponsors as well. Hey, we're here. Also, you can catch Hoy En Día TV on different platforms. So not only can you see us here on Facebook, on YouTube, on Instagram, you can catch us on RSS, Spotify, Amazon Music, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, Instagram, iHeartRadio, Podcast Addict, Podcast Index, Podverse, Deezer, Fountain, True Fans, YouTube, and Raphonic. And I'm sure we are on other platforms that I haven't mentioned, but hey, you can catch us. So if you're going to the gym, you're going for a jog, you're going for a walk, on a trip, etc., tune in to another inspiring and motivating and educational Hoy En Día TV segment, because that's what we are here to motivate, inspire, enlighten, educate, and entertain you all, the viewers and listeners, with each and every episode. And like always, we did that today. Yes, thank you. Big shout out to my co-host, Cece, Dr. Cece, the actionist, and Nadine Barton, author, entrepreneur. I know she had to log off a little early because she was having some tech issues, but it's a-okay. It happens, and we are here for you all. So thank you. And like I always say, the sky is never the limit because the galaxies are endless. Thank you all for tuning in to another amazing episode of Hoy En Día TV. Hasta pronto. Until next time.